Hi, I'm Jody Lane, and I'm the Executive Director of Fruitful Commons and co-founder of the Festival Beach Food Forest. So right now we are in the Festival Beach Food Forest in the heart of downtown Austin, Texas. The Festival Beach Food Forest is an edible public garden on public parkland. So it's one of the first in the country. Because we're on public parkland, we're open 24 hours, day and night, for people to come forage and harvest fresh herbs and fruit from the trees. So how it began was through a master planning process. And that parkland master plan happened because a power plant finally was decommissioned. This is a rapidly gentrifying city at this point, where a lot of people that have been here for decades have been marginalized. And we thought, how can we listen, and find out what the marginalized populations here really wanted? And so they were at these city meetings about a master plan of their 90 acres of parkland. And we started to notice that if we brought big pots of soup and salads and breads and asked people to bring things, it started to become a potluck conversation. There's lots of great organizations that were also coming to the table, and we noticed food brought us together. So we did that for about 2 years, back in 2012, 2014, and then pretty soon the idea of a food forest came up. So we spent another 2 years working with the community and with the city to say, let us try this idea of a food forest and see how it goes. We decided to make it a food forest as compared to a community garden. One, we had a community garden here that's right next to us here that is thriving, but we had heard from the Parks Department and from the Austin Parks Foundation that the fence around a community garden sometimes is off-putting. Like, people think that they don't belong or they can't afford it, they're not welcome. So the idea of no fences, having an open landscape for foraging at any time, day and night, was really the idea that we wanted to maintain. So the steps that we had to take to get this established and allow people onto the land, really it was already a park. So there were already people here using the land. But to turn it into a food forest was a whole nother thing. So what we did first is we tested the soils. We made sure that this was an area that could support food growth and healthy food. We didn't go through an extensive process with utilities. We were fortunate in that we used the water from the community garden, so that a line was already existing. So we were pretty fortunate with utilities. And then we had to go through the Parks Department to get our land agreement finalized. And that was a process. The Austin Parks Department was super helpful, but nobody knew how to make a land agreement happen. Like, they had agreements with community gardens, but that's a different situation where it's fenced and there's a community group that maintains it in a certain way through garden plots. Food forestry is very different. So we went through about 1.5 years of working with lawyers and Parks Department folks to establish our maintenance agreement, to make sure that there was a core team that was going to be here to maintain it. We needed to make the pathways accessible. We've got a senior center here, so our agreements were that this would be an accessible public garden. In terms of insurance for a project like this, it takes quite a bit. We have general liability insurance, we have automobile insurance, and we established it such that more food forests can grow. So we've got policies in place that will enable this project to scale in other areas of town. So as we continued from 2012 to now, we saw the need to develop a 501c3. We needed to become an entity. So we started what's called Fruitful Commons, and Fruitful Commons is the 501c3 umbrella now over the food forest. It's fun to get your hands in the dirt and it's fun to play, but doing the accounting, doing the bookkeeping, doing the grant writing, managing all of the receipts, it's not always the funnest job, right? So Fruitful Commons decided, okay, we're just going to take on that kind of administrative work. We're going to do our best to do that for the food forest at Festival Beach. But there's over 70 community-led agriculture projects in Austin that need this help. And what we envision, our mission is to support leaders and neighborhood organizations like this one to grow food, strengthen community, and keep fostering stewardship of the natural commons. And we're just going to keep creating these community resilience hubs here, but also in other places. What we imagine is that we will have a network. What if we created a food system that included community-led agriculture? That's kind of the big dream.